In April 2023, a war broke out in Sudan, one of the largest countries in Africa. Within weeks, the capital Khartoum had been reduced to rubble, hospitals abandoned, millions fleeing on foot. By 2025, it had become the largest humanitarian crisis on the planet, with nearly 14 million people displaced, tens of thousands dead, and a country effectively split in two. And yet, most people in the West couldn't tell you a single thing about it. Today, we're going to change that. To understand this war, you first need to know who is fighting. On one side, the Sudanese Armed Forces, the SAF. This is Sudan's official national military. Its soldiers, its air force, its navy. Led by a general named Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the country's de facto head of state. On the other side, the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF. A paramilitary army with around 100,000 fighters. Led by a man known as Hemedti Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, a warlord who rose from obscurity to become one of the most powerful men in Africa. Here's the thing that makes this conflict unusual. These two forces were allies not long ago. They fought together, they staged a coup together, and then they turned on each other. To understand why, you need to go back a few years. For nearly 30 years, Sudan was ruled by Omar al-Bashir, a dictator wanted by the International Criminal Court for genocide. In 2019, after months of mass protests, the military removed him from power. That should have been a turning point. The people of Sudan wanted democracy. And for a brief moment, it looked possible. A transitional civilian government was set up, with the military agreeing to hand over power. But in October 2021, the military staged a coup, overthrowing the civilian government they had just promised to protect. Two men were behind it, Burhan and Hemedti. They ruled together, but the partnership was always tense. The flashpoint came over one specific question: who controls the money and the guns? Sudan has gold, enormous reserves of it, and the RSF, Hemedti's force, had built a shadow economy around it. Gold mining, smuggling, foreign deals. The United Arab Emirates was a key buyer. In exchange, weapons flowed back to the RSF through Chad and Libya. The SAF wanted the RSF absorbed into the national army, brought under Burhan's control. Hemedti refused. He wasn't going to surrender his money, his weapons, or his men. Negotiations collapsed. And on April 15th, 2023, explosions tore through Khartoum. Both sides accused the other of firing first. It didn't matter. The war had begun. The fighting spread fast, far beyond the capital. The RSF had one major advantage. They were already everywhere, embedded in cities, towns, and villages across the country. They moved quickly, seizing neighborhoods, hospitals, government buildings. In Darfur, the western region already scarred by genocide in the early 2000s, the RSF committed what investigators described as systematic ethnic attacks. The Masalit people were targeted, entire communities driven out or killed. By 2025, Sudan effectively had two rival governments: the SAF's government, based in Port Sudan on the Red Sea coast in the east; the RSF's government, based in Nyala in western Darfur. Each controls roughly half the country. Each has foreign backers, and neither is winning decisively. March 2025 brought a significant shift. The SAF recaptured Khartoum, the capital, pushing the RSF out after nearly 2 years of occupation. Streets that had been ghost towns began to stir again. But in the west, the RSF tightened its grip on Darfur. In October 2025, RSF forces captured al-Bashir, the last major city in Darfur outside their control. Witnesses reported massacres of civilians. The country is being pulled apart. This isn't just a Sudanese conflict. Foreign powers have made it worse. The UAE has been the RSF's main external backer, supplying weapons and buying gold, turning Hemedti's militia into a well-funded fighting force. The UAE has denied direct involvement, but the evidence is substantial. Egypt has supported the SAF, seeing the official Sudanese military as a stabilizing force and a strategic ally. Russia's Wagner group, the mercenary network, has also had a presence in Sudan, with interests tied to gold and regional influence. Meanwhile, international mediation has failed repeatedly. The UN Security Council passed a resolution calling for a ceasefire in 2024. It was ignored. Peace talks, mediated by multiple countries, have gone nowhere. The war continues. Numbers can be numbing, so let's be specific. Nearly 14 million people have been displaced, more than any other conflict in the world right now. Entire cities emptied. Tens of thousands have been killed in combat. Thousands more have died from disease and starvation because aid has been deliberately blocked by both sides. In Darfur, a UN fact-finding mission in 2025 identified what it called the hallmarks of genocide, the same word used for the same region 20 years earlier. Sudan was already one of the poorest countries on earth before the war. Now, its infrastructure is shattered, its institutions collapsed, and its people scattered across the continent. So why is Sudan at war? At its core, two military men who used to share power decided they couldn't any longer. One commanded the state, the other commanded a private army built on gold and foreign weapons. When the question of who would dominate came to a head, they chose war over compromise. And the people of Sudan are paying for that choice. The war is not over. The RSF holds the west. The SAF holds the east. Khartoum is slowly being rebuilt, but Darfur is burning. What happens next depends partly on whether the outside world decides Sudan is worth paying attention to. If you found this useful, subscribe, because we cover conflicts the mainstream media ignores. Geopolitics Decoded.